250 illegal Indian immigrants were deported in the first batch on 4th February by the Trump administration. Cracking the whip on illegal immigrants on the soil of Uncle Sam, of which Indians are the third largest as per Pew Research. These 200 people joined the string of deportation of immigrants from Colombia, Guatemala and other countries.
I've seen some numbers. I caution you about them because for us a number is operative when we can actually validate the fact that the individual concerned is of Indian origin. So, we'll have to see sort of really how that goes, because it has, as I said, the basis of their stay or not able to stay, and the fact that at our end we have to verify that they are indeed Indians, because naturally there are sensitivities involved there as well.
Prime Minister Modi would be meeting his best friend, US President Donald Trump, in about another week. The two heads of states would talk and iron out differences so that the Indian motto of Made in India and America First policy of the US can be hand in hand for the next 4 years. The road ahead is challenging, and India has already worked in advance to pacify the eagle by reducing import levy on foreign-made cars and bikes. But there are other issues, and the biggest of them is the big fat American dream that many Indians aspire for. All of that would be on the table beside the trade and commerce deals. Hopes are riding high on the Trump-Modi 2.0.
Hello and welcome to the special broadcast. The stage is set for the mega Modi-Trump meet in the United States of America. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to meet US President Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. on a 2-day visit next week. This would be their first meeting since Donald Trump came back to the Oval Office for his second term. On the agenda will be trade, tariffs, illegal immigration, among other pressing issues. Hopes are high that this visit, just within a month of Trump's takeover, will bolster India-US ties.
It's official. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will meet US President Donald Trump in Washington during his 2-day visit in February. The big Modi-Trump millen is scheduled for February 13. This will be Prime Minister Modi's first visit to the White House since Donald Trump's return, taking place in the very first month of Trump 2.0 presidency. It was just last week when the two leaders shared a conversation on call where Trump and Modi reaffirmed close India-US ties. The bilateral talks will likely focus on key issues like defense, terror, trade, tariffs and immigration. India cut tariffs on US goods to allow imports, while the United States kept on imposing tariffs against India. The two sides may also discuss defense ties, with America asking India to buy more US equipment while raising concerns over India and Russia military ties. India has already agreed to take back any illegal immigrants in the US, while the Prime Minister is likely to discuss H-1B visa concerns with his good friend Trump. Will Modi and Trump's personal bonhomie further bolster already close India-US ties? Bureau Report, India Today.
Just a day after the budget, rupee slumped below 87 per dollar for the first time, hitting record lows in early trade on Monday. The fall was triggered by a surge in the dollar index after US President Donald Trump announced tariffs on Canada, Mexico and on China. Traders are also jittery because of expectations of an interest rate cut by the Reserve Bank of India this Friday. However, the rupee stabilized a day later with the prospects of an all-out global trade war diminishing.
That have to balance out their trade, number one, that got to stop people from pouring into our country, and we've stopped it. They haven't stopped it. We've stopped it. They have to stop people from pouring in, and we have to stop fentanyl, and that includes China. Fentanyl has killed this year at least 200,000 people. It's pouring in from China through Mexico and Canada, and they've got to stop it. And if they don't stop it, the tariffs are going to get worse, a lot worse.
The first round of Trump tariffs will kick in Tuesday morning. But even before that, Donald Trump is threatening a second volley of tariffs.
20% plus.
The world markets are spooked like never before, with the so-called dollar index rising sharply. All world currencies have slumped. The rupee fell below the 87 level for the first time ever. The rupee's fallen sharply in the last 50 trading sessions. From 84.29 in the last week of November, it fell below the 85 mark for the first time and below 86 on the 14th of January. After closing at 86.61 on budget day, the rupee crossed 87 on Monday. The fall has been particularly steep since Sanjay Malhotra, the new RBI governor, took charge on 11th of December. Reports say that the new central bank chief is not particular about reining in the rupee as his predecessor was. The fall from 85 to 87 has just taken 33 trading days against 47 for 84 to 85. The previous fall from 83 to 84 happened in 277 days. Traders expect the rupee to oscillate in the range of up to 87.5 in the coming days. Even though the latest meltdown in the rupee is triggered by the Trump tariffs, there are other factors at play in the market. These include a pause in rate cuts by the US Federal Reserve last week, the rise in global trade uncertainties, and the continued outflow of foreign funds from Indian stock markets. Interestingly, the union budget announced on Saturday has been a stabilizer for the rupee.
Presently,
The much lower fiscal deficit of 4.4% for 2025-26 hints at the government's commitment to strong fiscal prudence, a move which ultimately helps the rupee. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
American President Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi built a strong bonhomie in their respective first terms. There was a promise to take it further when Narendra Modi came back to power for the second term in 2019. But Donald Trump lost the race to White House in the year 2020. Here's a look back to those days of bonhomie, romance, diplomacy between the two, head of state and head of government.
He needs no introduction. His name comes up in almost every conversation. The President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump.
His second-term campaign in 2020, then incumbent American President Donald Trump featured his pal, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
I have the honor to introduce you to my family.
But then, this wasn't the first time either. 4 years before this, when Donald Trump first won the Republican ticket in 2016, he used a slogan.
Abhi ki baar, Trump Sarkar.
It was inspired by Narendra Modi's first prime ministerial election campaign of 2014.
Ab ki baar.
It set the tone of their relationship as soon as Donald Trump came to White House as the 45th President of the United States of America.
I solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
They met and hugged and cracked jokes together like long-lost friends.
He actually speaks very good English, we just don't want to talk.
The formalities of two world leaders meeting under public glare was always warm in friendliness.
Since India opened its economy, it has achieved astounding growth and a new world of opportunity for its expanding middle class. And Prime Minister Modi has been working to bring that vast country and all of its people together as one. And he is working at it very, very successfully indeed.
मुझे विश्वास है कि मेरा न्यू इंडिया का विजन तथा राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप का मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अमेरिका के विजन में निहित कन्वर्जेंस हमारे सहयोग के नए आयाम पैदा करेगी। मेरा यह स्पष्ट मत है कि एक मजबूत और सफल अमेरिका में ही भारत का हित है।
That was Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit to the White House. It was a historic moment, and people from both the countries loved it.
बात बनेगी तो क्या गाना गाया जाएगा?
हम कहेंगे
उनकी मुलाकात
ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे
तोड़ेंगे
दम मगर तेरा साथ ना छोड़ेंगे.
Ended up being, I think, a bit better than we originally expected as the event started to come together, the visit started to come together. President Trump began to focus on India in a way that he didn't during the campaign and the early part of his administration. And I think the recognition that the cooperation has been excellent in multiple fronts, I think they did roll out a much more exciting welcome than we'd expected just a few weeks ago.
Modi Sarkar was 3 years old, while Trump was months old in the Oval Office.
In just 2 weeks, you will begin to implement the largest tax overhaul in your country's history. We're doing that also, by the way. Creating great new opportunities for your citizens. You have a big vision for improving infrastructure. And you are fighting government corruption, which is always a grave threat to democracy.
And together they set out a path to greater glory.
आतंकवाद जैसी वैश्विक चुनौतियों से अपने समाजों की सुरक्षा राष्ट्रपति ट्रंप तथा मेरी टॉप मोस्ट प्राथमिकताओं में से एक है, क्योंकि भारत तथा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स विश्व की दो विशाल डेमोक्रेसीज का साझा सशक्तिकरण हमारा उद्देश्य है.
Within a couple of months of this visit, Donald Trump sent his daughter Ivanka to India, and Prime Minister Modi was the perfect host to his pal's favorite girl, building a personal relation between not only two countries, but a close bond with the Trump clan.
Makes this edition of GS stand out. In Indian mythology, woman is an incarnation of Shakti, the goddess of power. We believe women empowerment is vital to our development.
And find new ways to lift barriers in our society so that women are free to innovate, empowered to succeed, and able to leave our children a brighter future.
Over the next 3 years, they watered this relation patiently and regularly, meeting at different global summits, together solving world problems, while supporting each other's domestic decisions, keeping their individual countries as first priority. Narendra Modi returned as the Prime Minister with a thumping majority, and his friend from Washington DC was elated. He even said that India was lucky to have his BF at the helm of power. The Indian Prime Minister laid out a red carpet welcome for his American dost in his 2020 maiden visit to India as the POTUS.
Namaste, Trump! Namaste,
Namaste Trump event was bigger and befitting a welcome rally in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's home state, Gujarat, than Howdy Modi was.
मैं कहूंगा इंडिया यूएस फ्रेंडशिप आप बोलेंगे लॉन्ग लिव इंडिया यूएसए फ्रेंडशिप इंडिया यूएस फ्रेंडशिप इंडिया यूएस फ्रेंडशिप
America loves India. America respects India, and America will always be faithful and loyal friends to the Indian people.
Before the end of his first term and the year, the American president honored his Indian dost with the prestigious Legion of Merit, the top US military award recognizing outstanding service and achievements. By then, he was set to get out of the White House, and Prime Minister of India had more than 3 years left in the second term of his office. The honor was accepted by then Indian Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu. The 2020 US presidential election was marred by COVID pandemic, and Donald Trump kept reaching out to his friend in India for help and support.
And I want to thank Prime Minister Modi of India for allowing us to have what we requested from before the problem arose. And he was terrific. We'll remember it.
When the incumbent American president was down under with COVID, his friend hoped for his speedy recovery. Theirs was a friendly relation that had weathered a few winters by then. In the 4 years as the President of America, in his first term, Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi have achieved a lot. Within the first 2 years of coming to power, India and US signed the foundational or enabling agreement of CONCASA on the sidelines of the inaugural 2+2 dialogue on 6th September 2018. In 2020, the two countries signed a host of defense deals. The Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, or BECA, signed in October 2020, enabled India to access high-quality satellite data for enhanced accuracy of missiles and armed drones, benefiting Indian defense capabilities. Before that, in February 2020, India and the US concluded defense deals worth over $3 billion for 24 MH-60R Seahawk multi-role helicopters for the Navy and 6 AH-64E attack helicopters for the Army. That very month, another contract to acquire 6 AH-64E Apache helicopters for $800 million from the US was also sealed. Not only defense, the two leaders together worked hard on counter-terror collaboration between the countries.
Prime Minister Modi is a very religious man, as you know. He's a very calm man, but he's actually a very, very strong person, very tough, actually. When I've seen him in action, and he's got that foremost in his mind, terrorism. He'll take care of it.
The US expressed support for India's stance against cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan.
I also, you mentioned Pakistan, but Iran would have to be at the top of the list, because if you look at terrorist states, that's been the number one for a long time. But I really believe that Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Khan, they get along, they will get along when they get to know each other, and I think a lot of good things will come from that.
मैं यहां पर जोर देकर कहना चाहूंगा कि इस लड़ाई में प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप पूरी मजबूती के साथ आतंक के खिलाफ खड़े हुए हैं.
but economic relations between the two were characterized by tensions over trade policies. Trump's America First approach led to pressure on India to reduce tariffs and trade barriers. He frequently criticized India for its high tariffs on US goods, suggesting that reciprocal measures would be implemented if necessary. Despite these challenges, bilateral trade continued to grow, with significant investments from US companies in sectors like technology and pharmaceuticals. Bureau Report, India Today.
We'll keep a close eye on each development in this Trump-Modi 2.0 journey and bring you all the details. But for now, that's all that we have in this show. Goodbye and take care.